What would it be like to swing around New York City like Spider-Man, or wield epic weapons in the fight against evil? You need only turn to video games, where anything is possible. And yet so many of the mainstream games, like Super Smash Bros. Or Call of Duty, are knee-jerk games. They rely on instinct alone, and so gamers never really have to think anymore. There are games like Professor Layton, of course, but these games make up a small part of what is out there for gamers to play. And yet there was once a time when games that made gamers think were popular and in demand. The early 1980s to the early 2000s, the golden age of the graphic adventure games. This included Monkey Island 1 through 4, Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, King's Quest, and the original Broken Sword, among others. These games had almost no combat, relying entirely on puzzles. The puzzles could be down to earth for regular logic, or completely ridiculous, forcing gamers to think outside the box. Either way, having to think their way out of a situation instead of just mashing buttons is intellectually rewarding and can help with the decline of the cognitive abilities today. What might be difficult is convincing developers to start creating this genre once more. After all, it's been practically dead for over a decade. However, I do say practically because Telltale Games, pre-Walking Dead the game, was bringing back the graphic adventure games with games like Sam and Max Seasons 1 through 3 and Tales of Monkey Island. Meanwhile, Double Fine has created a highly praised game called Broken Age, funded by Kickstarter, showing that there is still an audience for these games. Finally, and most recently, the response to Grim Fandango Remastered was incredibly positive, proving once and for all that the genre still has a chance of returning. It still generates a profit, and that's all we really need to prove to developers that developing a graphic adventure game can work in their favor. And if they do, in all probability the cognitive losses of gamers won't be quite as severe as they once were. Therefore, it is a win-win situation. The return of this genre will benefit everybody.